So I'm here at PAX East 2016 checking out Kiro'o Games, and they've got an interesting one called Aurion Legacy of Kiro'o Games, and I'm speaking to one of the developers of the game. Good sir, could you tell the people at home your name?
I'm Madiba Olivier, the game designer of the game.
It's a pleasure to meet you, Mr. Madiba. So could you tell the people a little bit more about what you do?
I am the founder of Kiro'o Games Studio, the studio which create Aurion. And I'm also the game designer, scenarist, coder, lot of things.
Very cool. So now, for people who haven't heard of it, what sort of game is Aurion?
Aurion is an action RPG based on African fantasy, in fact, where you explore African fantasy cities in a really deep scenario, and you have blasting, real-time fighting combat in 2D, HD.
That sounds pretty cool. Now, I know that you're based out of Cameroon. Is there a lot of game development happening in Cameroon right now?
No, we are the first professional one, but there is another studio coming. We are helping them like we can, since we have to win if there is a real industry born, which will rise there. And yeah, there is something popping in the gaming industry in Africa.
Now, I'd like to. Now, being the first game development studio in Cameroon, I have to ask, what are some challenges that you guys ran into?
We have challenge at every part, like the funding part, where like every studio is hard to find funds. But as African, you have also to convince your investor that you are not a scammer, and you have also power outrage, often an internet connection problem. But during power outrage, we start to brainstorm about what we want to do in the game.
Now, I have to ask, what sorts of games inspired Aurion?
Oh, I am a common geek. I love Final Fantasy VII, I love Breath of Fire 3, I love Mass Effect, I love Metal Gear, and that's, I think, my main inspiration as a gamer to make games.
Very cool. Now, another thing I have to ask is, what is your favorite game of all time?
My favorite game of all time? I think it's Final Fantasy VII.
That's an excellent choice. Are you excited about the remake?
I am in the heaven, but a little bit disappointed that they split it into by part. But I also understand that if they want to make it big, they have to.
Yeah, because I mean, making games is expensive, as you know. Now, you ran a Kickstarter a while back, and you were very successful on Kickstarter. Do you have any advice for any developers who are thinking about kickstarting a game?
You should know that this is a really hard time when you want to make a Kickstarter as a no-name game. If you want to make a Kickstarter, you have to work on it 1 year before. You have to build a community of people waiting your game. You have to build your press relation. You have to make sure your game is really unique, and then you go.
That is some excellent advice. So now, let's say somebody wants to find out more about this game. Where can they go?
It can go on Steam, since the game is already released on our Steam page, and you can go and read the reviews or the gaming press about the game on Google. You will see that the game is pretty awesome.
And now, finally, I'd like to ask, let's say somebody wants to follow you. Where can they follow you?
They can find me on Twitter, Madiba Olivier. They can find Kiro'o Games on Twitter, and I am available online.
Now, I also want to know, what is your favorite part of developing this game, Ben?
It was the beginning, for sure, when you have all the idea, all the crazy idea that you can do everything in your mind. The beginning is really exciting. But I also like the end, because, you know, this is the conqueror moment, where you are the pressure, the money finished, and everything, the team cracking from all apart. But you have to keep this together and to make it to deliver the game.
Now, do you think that the game scene in Cameroon is going to continue to grow?
Definitely with us. Definitively with us as leaders, yeah.
Excellent. Well, I'm definitely looking forward to trying this one out. It's been a pleasure speaking with you, sir.
This was cool too. Thanks for your time, and thanks to let me lunch before the interview.